baby. Baby. Baby.
So, I just got to my room. Let's do a quick room tour, shall we? I love it actually. Very simple, but very nice. And this bathroom is cool. Oh, welcome to San Francisco. I'm so exhausted. I need to sleep. It's like 12:08 a.m. My meeting is this morning. So let's go. I forgot to show you. So this is the entrance, and then there was this door. Ooh. Yay. Protect your valuables. It has every single thing I need. I really, really love this room. I even got an umbrella. Good morning. Rise and shine. Time to go all the way into town. I'm in town now. What am I saying? Anyway, it's time to get up, eat breakfast, get dressed, get set, and vlog and film. No go bad if I sleep small more. It go bad.
We fall apart, piece by piece. That's how the little things get huge. Just keep on moving through the beat. Don't let them get the best of you. When you are under the weather, getting caught in the storm. Do you remember? I told you if we dance in the blizzard, we are not getting cold. So keep on dancing, baby.
Mustafa, you have to go, Golden Gate Bridge, interesting sections, go walk, it's up to you, 5 minutes.
Okay.
You want a time?
What'd you say?
I'm saying you want a time, if you have time, you go Golden Gate Bridge intersections,
Oh, okay. So my Uber driver insisted I see this bridge before we get to our destination, and I think that was just too kind of him. So he parked real quick and said he would wait for me to get a picture here. And yes, I'm right here. I'm about to get a picture.
Things get hard. Lay it all on me when you're not strong enough to carry on. Baby, you should know I got you.
Talk about Nigerians doing great things. I am far away in California to bring you behind the scenes of one of Platfrom Capital portfolio companies. I am talking about Koniku, a leading biotechnology company that has successfully digitized smell. I'll be chatting with the CEO and founder, Osh Agabi, to tell us what exactly they've been up to right here at Koniku.
So Stacy, this is
Hi,
Tomike.
Stacy. Same here.
So Tomike, we have very, very big investors, as you know, in Lagos, in Nigeria, and she is directly connected to one of our key investors back there, and she's here to explain to people what we do.
Oh, fantastic!
And
That's great.
yes, so Stacy's. So Stacy
Thank
makes
you.
all of it happen. She's my executive assistant. She makes
Aw.
all that.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Same here.
Here, Stefan.
Hello.
Yes. So she's gonna make you famous. Stephanie here is head of production,
Okay.
helping us do manufacturing and so on and so forth.
Awesome.
He joined us here from Switzerland. Do you have a few
Awesome.
things you want to say to her?
Hello.
Hi. Well, I don't know actually what to say. But,
That's fine. It just set you off. What's it like working here, dude?
it's super cool because it's the best technology you can think of
right?
currently that is developed because it's such a interesting thing and yeah.
Perfect timing, yeah?
Yeah,
For the
perfect
times we're
timing,
in.
perfect thing.
There are some things you actually cannot film for proprietary
Okay,
reasons.
sure. That's fine.
Right.
Let me know when we get to those places. Here.
Yes, so here,
This is-
that's what I meant.
Okay.
Actually, we can go inside. So here's our manufacturing facility. We have a crazy idea at the base of it. The crazy idea at the base of it is we can do computation with biological cells. We're building a new kind of computational framework, if you will. But the place we're starting from is using biological cells, biological neurons to sense the environment around you. So we have these cells that we've genetically modified to essentially be able to sniff the air and tell you what is in it. So we can smell explosives in the project that we're doing with Airbus, for instance. So actually in the coming months, you would see some airports already starting to carry our products. Essentially, it's our manufacturing base.
Okay.
Some of our people are absent for COVID. We take COVID very seriously.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Vivek. I'm a biosystems engineer here at Koniku. My work primarily will involve scientific development and R&D processes for the rest of the tech stack. As you can see, I work heavily with the biology. What this means is we have a cool product that can sense VOCs in the air. What I do here is help these cells express the sensor components that they need to actually sense what is in the air and tell us that they're smelling what they're smelling.
So this is Tonika. She was sent here by one of our investors. Just catch the vibe of what we do here.
Oh, nice.
Jack there has excellent hair, so he's going to talk about his hair and also tell you about what we do here. Please.
Okay. Hi, Jack.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. What do you do here?
Hi. So I work on the systems engineering and
Okay.
machine learning type of stuff. So trying to make sense of the responses of all the cells.
What's your favorite thing about Koniku?
Too many favorite things.
Oh, really? Tell me about it.
I guess my favorite thing has to be the interdisciplinary nature of the work. It's really amazing to be able to tie together things ranging from nuances of biology all the way to
Sure.
PCB design. So it's really been an
It's
amazing
interesting.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's Jack. Of course, here, if you come back here, this is our small mini production facility. So
Cameras allowed?
no cameras. So that's a PCR. That's a PCR Roche 480 light cycler. We use it to characterize and measure stuff that is within our cells. And this is one of our scale-up facilities that is coming online soon. It's also a BSL tool lab. I am well.
I can see that. Let's take you back to the very beginning of it all, where you got to name and give birth to this company, which has gone global today, of course. Let's start with the name, Koniku. I know, I think, I believe, but I'm going to let you tell me all the details about the name and how you came up with that name.
Koniku comes from the Yoruba word, which means, yes, Koniku
You will never die.
means, yes, it will never die. But I almost feel like sometimes when we translate Koniku to immortal or to never die, you lose a lot of meaning. Because the Yoruba language is actually, I think it's a very deep language, honestly.
Yes,
A lot of
it
African
is.
languages are very deep. So when somebody says Koniku, it's, yes, it will never die, but it also means it has no death. Koni
Doesn't
is
have,
like does
sure.
not have, right? In comparison to
It won't die.
it won't die.
Yes.
Right? So for us at Koniku, it's also a very inspiring word. I'm a big fan of languages because whether we realize it or not, the words we use, how we use them, it betrays how we think.
Sure.
It betrays how, and a lot of times when people are talking, you're listening to people, you sit there quietly and you listen. But you learn so much by really listening.
Let's talk about what you've been up to at Koniku. I know that it's been a whole lot. You've had several projects you've been working on for so many years right now, and I'm sure we're just beginning to see the manifestation of some of the things that have probably been birthed 30 years ago. So let's talk about what you've been up to at Koniku.
What we're about in this first phase is essentially the detection of the unseen, what is around us. Our goal here is to detect smells in all of its ramifications. That may sound quite banal to the uninitiated, but it's not. And here's why it's not. When you look around you and all the technologies that we've built today, they revolve around two key things: the ability to record sound and be able to transmit that sound wherever. You can pick up a phone, speak into it, it's converted to electromagnetic signals, it's sent to the other side of the world, and the person can hear you. We also have the ability to capture vision. That's what you see.
Yes.
These two modalities, sound and optics, we have been able to do a lot with it. But there's one key spectrum that we have missed out on so far. And we have biology here, a technology that is 600 million years in the making, that is able to detect smells in the most amazing way possible. So what we've basically done here is to take the same technology that the dog uses to smell, for instance, miniaturize that by genetically modifying cells and putting it in one of these devices, and then you can certainly smell the smells that are here in this room. You can smell it, and you can transmit that information anywhere you want.
What does that translate to? What are some of the applications of this? I mean, what are some of the benefits? I mean, now that you are building this, what are the things that you intend to use it for?
Excellent. So one of the more famous examples that have been covered in places like the BBC, the Financial Times, Bloomberg, and what have you, is automated passenger screening in the airports. Pre-COVID, when you get into the airport, you will experience these large queues and people in Heathrow, for instance, spending hours just to get into the airport or get checked and so on and so forth. So what if you had a system that could completely automate that? Imagine you get into an airport and you don't have to divest any of your belongings. You can just walk through an airport, get into the other side, and board an aircraft the same way you will board a train, for instance. Is such a thing possible? Yes, it is, with a technology like ours. So you can imagine having a Koniku in various locations in an airport without you even knowing it's there, and seamlessly it is collecting volatile organic compounds. So it's collecting the smell the same way that the dog is sniffing you when you come through. We can sniff you using our technology, and you can have a distributed network of Konikus in an IoT play, and we can tell that this person that is coming into the airport represented a threat in a factual way without having to profile anybody and anything like that. And you can tell factually that this person is a threat. And that's a solution we're already building with Airbus today. It's a solution that is going into airports. We've already started shipping some of these devices to our technology integrators already. But personally, there's a big application that really excites me a lot, and that is the healthcare play. Did you know that every time you breathe from your breath, you're having at least about 1,000 different VOCs that are coming from your breath? So if somebody has, say, malaria, for instance, right, they have a certain change in how they smell. So some people might be, or some of your audience might be familiar with the so-called sick smell. If somebody has lung cancer, for instance, it changes the composition of the breath, what is coming from their breath. The goal here with the Koniku is to have it in every bathroom, in every home, everyone's home on this planet. This way, we can begin to diagnose their breath. I mean, the device, you can see it weighs about 700 grams. We can even shrink the size further, and you can have this device in every home, and we will collect your breath, analyze it, and you will have a marketplace where if somebody has any illness, especially illnesses that you can smell it, and you can essentially prescribe a solution.
Now let's talk about safety. Digesting everything you said, I could just imagine people thinking, oh, how safe would it be to use this device? Has it been tested? Clinical tests being carried out and all of that? Would it be safe for people to put this in their homes?
So that's the process we're in right now. This whole COVID episode has cost the global economy trillions and trillions of dollars. We just had the president, Biden administration, approve a $1.9 trillion relief plan. I don't think we should ever find ourselves in a situation like that anymore. COVID has decimated economies across the globe. So imagine if you had this kind of solution where before pandemic breaks out, we can nip it in the bud, we can find where it is. Why are the people in Wuhan, why do they have this certain smell signature and so on and so forth? We can arrive at that very quickly. We're in clinical trials to get an FDA approval. We will not go in public and say we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, without having the FDA approval to say so. So we are in the clinical trials process as we speak. Some of my team that you met minutes ago, I'm sure they're about to jump into another team with Treximo, CRO partner, that are helping us conduct these clinical trials in various locations as we speak. The data we have seen so far is quite encouraging, and I feel cautiously optimistic that we will get FDA approval soon, which is clearly a game changer.
Awesome, I look forward to that as well. It's a great work you're doing over here. These are one of
quite
the
a thing.
times where we are proud to say, oh, it's a Nigerian, it's from it's from my country. I mean, I walked in here feeling so proud of you and every
Thank
single
you.
thing that you've
Thank
accomplished.
you.
But on a final note, you mentioned earlier on about opportunities for people to work with you or partner with you and all of that. What are some of those opportunities? Are there vacancies that people will be able to apply to in the nearest future?
For sure. So we're always looking for amazing people. If you're a person that is keen to learn, keen to better yourself, keen to explore biotechnology, synthetic biology. I'm especially a special shout out to my acokites.
Oh, greatest acokites!
Shout out to acokites. It occupies a special place in my heart. If you're from any Jogual or Shudede, special shout out to you.
Awesome.
We're looking for amazing folks. The key thing that helps Koniku thrive is you have an open mind, you want to learn, you want to change the course, or you want to affect the trajectory of the human species in no trivial way, and you have the skills and you have the chops. The bar to entry, fortunately or unfortunately, is very, very high. But I feel confident that my Njokites and Shudendites and Akokites, they're up to the task. So feel free to shoot us an email with your CV, the best foot you can put forward at cv@koniku.com. The team will have a look at it, and if it's interesting, I cannot guarantee that we'll reach back out. If it's interesting, we'll reach out to you. We hire from Europe, we hire from Asia. Stefan that you met earlier, we hired him from Switzerland, for instance, and to my crew at the ETH in Zurich as well. If you're out there, the ETH Zurich guys, reach out to the crew at Imperial College and Umwe University. These are all places I studied.
Oh wow!
Just reach out and reach out to us, and we're happy. We're hiring a ton. We have a lot of spaces that we have to fill out in the coming months, so we're hiring very aggressively to meet the challenge of the 21st century.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting with you, and thank you for showing me around Koniku. I look forward to coming back here sometime in the nearest future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's a wrap.
All right.
We have been doing work with Toye and Platform Capital and his team, led by Pamela, for about 4 or 5 years. We've tried to put a program together with Platform Capital that's meaningful for African companies. Prior to COVID, the whole idea was, to have a physical location, physical space, not only in Silicon Valley, but in Europe and LATAM and other regions in the world for African companies to go out. And the initial build out of the idea of having a network of accelerators to support companies globally, but mainly African companies, was to use this building, this campus, for companies that want to use this as a base for meeting with investors, meeting with strategic partners, building their business in some material way prior to getting funding in US if that's something that they wanted to do. Africa House actually is a brand building exercise for the continent of Africa. Africa's got to build its brand first to get credibility, and then investors will follow. Now, what's important is having access to investors, having access to channel partners to get to market. We've created a venture with Platfrom Capital called Liquidity Club. It's a SaaS platform that takes maturing, rapid growth companies, not early stage companies, but companies that have proven themselves, meeting metrics that we've identified. And we bring them into our club. They have to be invited in. We've got a structure of actually a migration of companies that are mature but earlier stage and don't quite qualify to get into our elite club. So the first club is called the Seed Club. The second club is called the Growth Club. This is all described on our informational website. That describes the platform that we're launching July 4th. We're doing it on July 4th because that's freedom in US. That's Liberation Day, all right? And the whole theme here is we're taking companies, we're creating this global network of more mature companies using our platform for a couple of things. One is we've taken the PitchBook investor database. We've made this available to everybody in our club. Right now, PitchBook is the leading data source of active private equity and venture investors and trends going on in technology. And it's expensive. It costs about $22,000 per year to subscribe for this service. We're taking that database, a dynamic database, we got our equivalent, and we put it onto to our platform for our users, and you get it automatically by being a member of our club. We provide private introductions to investors that want to meet with companies based on filtering and screening, which is going to be part of this sort of take-in process for our companies. Aside from that, we've got collaboration tools. Companies need to be able to communicate remotely, to track what they're doing with remote teams, to track the history of what works and what doesn't work. So we have a set of tools that relate to that. That's part of our platform. We're making it mandatory that members of our club communicate with each other and help each other. They have to do it. So this whole idea of like an ecosystem of companies that graduated from an accelerator, that's great, but when you think about it, your network is only the companies that are in that acceleration network. It's a silo. What we're doing is creating a global silo. It's the entire world of these mature companies that are in our club. Every company's in the business to make money or change the world, right? One way or the other. Investors are too. You know, there's this whole new world of impact investors. What they want to do is put their money in companies that are going to make meaningful changes in populations. We're bringing together investors and companies, and we're taking them across the finish line into exit opportunities. That's what liquidity is all about. How do we do that? A couple of things. We take the best companies that we have that are in our growth club, the top 20%, they've got to qualify, right? And it's all based on metrics. It's not who we like, it's based on what they've actually done. This is built into our platform, and they have to exchange equity rights as limited partners in an equity pool with every other company in that top 20% for that year. If any company has an exit, the proceeds go back to the companies. So unlike accelerators that keep the interests, this goes back to our members. Why are we doing that? Because companies will help companies this way, because there's an economic payout. If I'm a company in Africa and I want to go to Germany, and I'm in the car sector, and I want to get intros to the OEMs in Germany, companies in Germany that are members of my club, our club, will make those introductions. Number one, because they have to. If they don't, they get kicked out. Number two, they're going to get paid for it, right? Because if companies succeed, they're in the exchange club. Any company gets an exit, it goes to everybody else. We also have a partnership with Forge. Forge is the old Shares Post. It is the largest secondary shares trading platform in the world. Here's their issue. They're working with unicorn companies. Their challenge is how do they get pre-unicorn companies that are maturing, that are promising, but they're not of the mass, they're not of the value metrics that the trading platform that they have today services. We are the farm system for the kinds of companies that can be unicorns, right? And they're in our club. And they're in our club because we vet them and we make sure that nobody gets in unless they're a quality company, right? Okay, so we got the exchange platform, number 2. Number 3, nobody does this. We're taking our best company of the year public every year in US. How do we do that? It's SPACs, okay? They're all over the place. We've been working with SPACs for over 10 years. So I'm Mark White. I'm the founding partner of White Summers. And we're a law firm, transactional firm, a global firm, and we've been taking companies public through SPACs for quite a while. We're going to take that mechanism and we're going to use it for companies in our club. We're taking our best company of the year. We're building a SPAC and raising capital around that idea. And unlike other SPACs where they're searching for a target, we know who our target is. Our target is the best emerging growth company in the world based on our metrics and our screening and our network that rises to the top. The beauty of that is you've got an instant, a public company. Any company in our club qualifies if they're good enough, and it's extraordinary. Guaranteed access to the public markets, our top company of the year. We do that every year starting next year. The last thing is, not everyone's a great company. They're not. Let's face reality, okay? What happens to the companies, 80% that don't succeed? We think our track record is going to be better than that because companies that get into our club are going to be great companies. They have to be to get in, okay? But all the same, you're going to have a lot of companies that fail. We have a distressed assets platform for those companies. We're taking care of companies that don't do well. We're getting an exit for them as well. So companies have built great software, they've built great devices, they've got modules that they've built that are, it's like a used car, okay? You take it apart and you sell pieces in different places, you get something out of it. That's what we're gonna do, all right? So you put it all together and you say, wow, this is pretty extraordinary because everybody else, they say, we're gonna help companies grow, and they're all gonna be successful and best of luck to them. And we're going to take 8% of the company and it belongs to us, not anybody else. We don't do that. We give companies that are maturing the tools they need to succeed themselves. This is a self-help platform and it's a club. You've got to qualify to get in. We are the implementation side of what Clubhouse is. We're a club too. You got to qualify to get in, but we'll take you to the promised land. That's what we're building. So how does that fit with Africa House? We're focused largely as one of the 4 major regions in the world on Africa. We're going to have a separate set of rooms, discussion lounges, focus on Africa House, the African community, and investors and companies that want to partner with African companies. So what we've done is we've built this clubhouse, which has these discussion rooms and these interest groups. And they're segregated by sector, by specific interest. But more than discussion in these groups, there's shared resources, there's a cooperation. It's a requirement of the club. It's part of our manifesto, if you want to put it that way. We take companies, give them the resources they need to get a liquidity exit, and we help them with the liquidity exits because we figured it all out. You've got a liquidity club, which gets you to a liquidity exit. And Africa is a big part of that story. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find great companies. We want them to find us. We want them to qualify, be part of our community, use our tools, and then get an exit. That's what we want to do. Very simple. It's finding an exit, right? The way you find an exit is you get money at the front end. That's why we have our investor database. We make these connections. It all kind of fits together. What companies can do now is they can go to whitespacex.com and just read about what we're doing. So we're changing the name with our new production platform, again coming out July 4th. So if you read about it now, then you kind of get a sense of what we're doing. We're doing a preview of the platform in June. So you know how it works. We don't want anyone coming into the club without knowing what the platform is, what are the resources there, how does it work, is this for me or not? We want companies to take an interest in this. We're going to have messaging about what are the requirements to get into the club. What are the criteria that we apply on applications to bring companies into the club? We've got applications for the first club, which is the Seed Club, and that's every company that doesn't qualify to get into the Growth Club. Growth Club is higher functionality, more meaningful support from our community, and only when you're in the Growth Club, which you qualify to get in, do you get access to our liquidity exit opportunities. We are working through Platfrom Capital. Platfrom Capital is one of our founders. Toye is critical. Pamela is critical to what we're doing. Our partner in Africa is Platfrom Capital. And what they're doing is building connections to acceleration companies throughout the continent that will give us their graduate companies. So one of the criteria is we want companies that went through acceleration programs, they know what they're doing, they launched, they have some traction with their team, they have some metrics on performance. If they're good enough, they then get into our club if they wish to be. And again, it takes them to markets outside of Africa.